Alright, hello and welcome everyone. This is David, aka Faramir 4731, and I'm bringing you a sort of tutorial here. This is an older battle I did when I was just starting out as a multiplayer coming from playing campaign. This was in late March, so I was still fairly new at playing multiplayer. Like I said, I started roughly around January, February, the end of January, early February, starting to play multiplayer, somewhere in that ballpark. Oh yes, it's the Noob Square. So we're going to be discussing, so hopefully newer players can understand why the Noob Square does not work. It just is a terrible idea. We're just going to be focusing on Empire Total War, not other Total Wars, because it is used in other Total Wars, but in Empire it definitely doesn't work, and you can see here they're using mortars, puckle guns, green jackets, light dragoons. They got everything but the kitchen sink in the square. Old string guards, you name it. So it doesn't matter how elite your units are in this type of formation, you're basically losing your mobility and your defensive capabilities. It's easy to understand why people think it's a highly defensive position, but actually you hurt yourself in this. You cause a lot of friendly fire. You're going to allow your opponent to pick apart your weakest point without allowing you to defensively move to fill against their pushes against your weak spots. You think you have even strengths across the whole square, where in reality your opponent can pick apart a certain point of the square, typically the corners. Especially for this example, with the puckle guns, they can be outranged, or they can be quickly torn apart by long range lights. And you can see here what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use some units to hold him in place in the square, while I have units that are going to fill in and make an octagon around his square. So my units on the basically the edges of the square are going to be applying the most punishment to him. So when you allow yourself to become immobile, you are unable rather to react to any situation. So if you start to get in a point where you're losing, you can't do anything about it. You can't react. If you try to break out, you're going to easily be overwhelmed because your square depends on solid defensive, equal defense around the whole 4 perimeters of your square wall. So if you have one of the 4 sides break, your square is going to completely dissolve. As you can see here, sides of the square are collapsing, and you are unable to reallocate troops to fill the gaps. And again, my units on the edges of the square are just going to lay down the most punishment. And all I have to do is keep applying more tension on the square, and it just keeps collapsing. Even though this player did reallocate and try to break out at one point, it's hard to do. Especially, I'm not even using all my units in this match. And being a newer player, if a new player such as myself could easily defeat a square like this, anybody can beat this. And again, it's just not going to work. I've never seen it work. So don't do it. Save yourself the embarrassment. Anyways, hope you enjoy. Please like and subscribe. We'll see you on the next one.